they seem quite favourable fixtures. I know you said take one game at a time, so let's start with Bournemouth. What are we saying?
Comprehensive, man. 3-0.
Hold on. Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the AFC Agenda. My name is Naber. I'm joined here in the studio with Ed, the one and only Kerr, and JR the Gooner, Jermaine.
Welcome.
So listen, let's just kick it off right now. Currently, Arsenal Football Club are 5 points clear of the Premier League
Talk to them.
table. So we just have to start with the game against Everton. It was a big game after a couple of weeks ago. Sean Dyche's first game in charge, beating Arsenal 1-0. It was a painful day, but we were all looking forward to the return fixture, and I don't think we were disappointed. Jermaine, how do you think that game went? Arsenal winning 4-0 at home. Was it a 4-0 game?
In the first 40 minutes, I don't think it was.
I think we all agree,
We couldn't get past that low block. They were defending for their lives. But as soon as we got that goal, they had to go for the match. And I knew after that, we would go on to win, to be fair. And it took something special from a guy like Saka. Sometimes you need special players on the pitch to do something, and he did that.
I think you're right about something special, but I would have to give a shout out from Zinchenko to come all the way from left back to where Odegaard should have been, to that little bit of magic, and then the ball, and then obviously the finish. And that's what we're saying, because Zinchenko, that's how important he is to the team, because he's supposed to be our left back, and he's doing that.
What do you think that's the end of Tierney then?
Nah, listen, let's not. I don't want to do that. Yeah, do you know why?
Yeah, all right.
No. Do you know why? Because it is a team game.
Yeah.
And the problem, what I do like with Arsenal, and we've suffered, especially at the end of last season, is that Tierney was out, Partey was out, and the season crumbled. Now we've got two right backs, Tomiyasu and Ben White, very, very good right backs, and left backs as well. We've got Tierney and we've got Zinchenko. This is what a squad.
Exactly.
This is what it looks like, and that's how it should be. To be fair, because he did come on in the end, but you know, anything happens to Zinchenko, it's going to be different because he links up with the midfield a bit more. But we've got a very good left back.
Yeah.
Kerr, you look like you've come for beef, innit? Hoods up and stuff like that.
I'm out here.
But how so after Arsenal win 4-0? What is this? Is this a friendly fire, or what we saying here?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
You're on a
innit?
peace
I'm
thing
good.
today.
I come in peace, innit?
Okay,
I come
calm.
in peace.
He's just got a bit nervous. Obviously, the sweet boy's over here thinking he's got his hoodie up, and boy,
You know, this is just here, innit? Just in case, innit? I'm hearing a lot of talk on my team, innit? So just in case anyone wants to talk reckless, I'm just a reminder, innit? Like, I'm out here.
We've come in
Grim
peace,
Reaper.
bro. We've come in peace, man.
That's all right. It's all right.
4-0 at home though, you must be buzzing.
Bro, I'm gassed, you know. I'm gassed. I was sitting there first, 30 minutes and just seeing all the misplaced passes, and I was just like, come on, boys. Because, you know, like, against a team like Everton, the more the time ticks down and the more they got more, like, the time to, you know, like, be in their block, the more time they have to sit in their block, you know, you're just like, this is just going to get more and more frustrating. Because as the time then ticks down, the players get more and more desperate. You start forcing things, and you saw it a few times in the first half, even with like Zinchenko and a few others. Like, they were forcing it even a bit early. You know, like, obviously, I understood what they were trying to do, because you had to, you know, go through the lines in order to try and break Everton down because of the shape that they were setting up with. But at the same time, I felt that we were contributing to our own downfall in terms of how sloppy the passes were and everything like that. And I just feel after that 30th minute, I got to obviously really the Saka goal. Once that Saka goal, that was really the one bit of real quality I felt, like, where we actually strung a few passes together, and obviously the finish was emphatic. And I was just like, oh my. And then from then, obviously, we then got the second, and then there was from there, it was no looking back for me.
Exactly. Ed, we were discussing before the game, looking at, okay, who's going to start? Is it going to be Partey coming back in for Jorginho? Is it going to be Nketiah coming in for Trossard? He went for Trossard as the false nine to start with, and then he went for Jorginho. How much credit do you have to give to Mikel Arteta because times have changed of how ruthless he was. Because at halftime, he's been fantastic for the last 3 games. He's come in, he's been a great, he's come in as a good backup. He's played well, but he didn't have a good half. And he didn't waste time, no sentiments, no Jorginho, you've done well for 3 games. Partey came on. How much credit do you give to Arteta for that?
He gets all the credit, to be honest, because, like you said, he has to be ruthless. And he changed things when we were winning. We were up 2-0 at the time.
Exactly.
And he hooked him off. So, have to give him maximum credit for that. I think you also see night and day with Jorginho and Partey. We're more secure when Partey's in the midfield, And listen, he's been a great servant, even though it's 3 games. And, we did give him a bit of stick because he's ex-Chelsea. Yeah. That whole thing, he's old. He's looked at as a cast-off. But, he's been good for the past 3 games.
He's been very good.
But I think, yesterday, I just think every time Everton broke on us, there were gaps in the midfield. And if Everton were better, that could have been 1-1 at half-time. It could have been even 2-0, against us. So, maximum credit to Arteta for making a change and bringing that technical security and that security blanket in Partey on.
To be fair to Jorginho, though, Arteta was saying that he was slightly ill as well, which is why he had to come off. So he wasn't playing at his best. He made a few wayward passes, etc. So
I think he's just getting caught in possession. But against Everton with those midfield players, that is going to happen.
And the fact that he didn't trust Partey, I think obviously not the fact that he didn't trust him, but obviously I think he wanted to ease him in.
Yeah.
So because I think he knew about Jorginho, and I feel like obviously it was then become pretty evident during the game, and then he thought Partey's good for 45, but not the whole 90.
Maybe you're right,
and I feel like that obviously contributed.
That played
the hamstring injury as well. They're kind of the injury where they can recur a lot.
That's it. Yeah.
If he goes down again, that can crash a whole season. So again,
100%.
No,
to be smart.
you guys are right, but it is a brilliant position to be in when we have one half with Jorginho and a second half with Partey. That just goes to show how far the squad has gone. Jermaine, I want to pick your brain on, which I think has been one of the signings from January with Trossard. He played the false 9 on Saturday to a devastating effect. He got a goal, which I thought still should have stood, but fair enough. Do you know what I mean? And the finish was ridiculous. Not only that, he got an assist as well. What a great assist that he did get. How much has he made it a little bit more comfortable? Because there was a time where it was looking a bit stale up front for us. He's coming. How good has he been?
Well, firstly, I think what's great about Trossard is he gives us options. He's both-footed, so he can play on the left flank, through the middle, on the right. He comes with Premiership experience, which is great for us. And if we're looking to compare the signing of Trossard and Mudryk and how it's gone so far, 21 million in comparison to 80, 90 million, whatever it was. It's been a bargain. It's been a great signing, I love the way he's just fit into the squad straight away. Him and Jorginho, to be fair. It's difficult to adapt to a new team, to understand the new play methods that Arteta's trying to implement, etc. Learn them quickly, and to come into a team that are top of the league as well. That's a lot of pressure. So he's adapted very well. I'm very happy with him.
No, I think you're right about that. As I said, he is making, especially playing at the false 9. But what I loved about the game against Everton is the fact that he played the false 9. Martinelli was on the left, and then they swapped over. And you can see he's proficient in playing both. And I think he's definitely, since he's been in the team, he's bringing out the better Martinelli has been missing Jesus. When you just think,
because that's the thing.
He's
been interchanging with him exactly the way that Jesus used to. Because Jesus used to drift off to the left, and come from the left wing a lot of the time with his dribbles and stuff.
Exactly.
And Martinelli used to take up the position of the centre forward and do the darting little runs and whatever to try and get him behind. And I feel like with Nketiah, that was obviously Nketiah is a striker, typical number 9. He wants to hog them central areas. He wants to be in the positions to get the
goals,
tap-ins, get the goals, basically. So I feel like obviously he ain't trying to be dragged out wide and do the winger kind of stuff. Whereas I feel Trossard, has obviously been able to, like you said, because of his experience and things like that, he's been able to come in, interchange, and that's been able to free him up. And that left side seems to have like been freed up a little bit again, like how it was at the, at the beginning of the season.
Exactly. Ed, I want to talk to you about our two wingers on the flanks, our two forwards, because Martinelli, surprisingly, is now the top goal scorer for Arsenal. He again had been coming under a lot of criticism. He just wasn't looking himself without Jesus playing alongside of him. But he scored 3 and 2 now, and then Saka, that emphatic finish. How excited are you about those wingers here? Like, because Martinelli and Saka, they're contributing goals here, and Saka is the second highest in regards to assists. So, how excited are you for the future with those two?
Oh, the future's bright, man. And I've given Martinelli a lot of stick.
You have.
I have.
I was going to keep that between us, but you've admitted it.
You know, he runs with his head down.
Cutting back all the time.
Sometimes he's a bit loose with the ball, doesn't make the right decision compared to obviously how Saka plays.
Yeah.
Saka always makes the right decision. He never does anything you're thinking, why are you doing that for, Saka? With Martinelli, sometimes it's a bit, helter-skelter. But what he does do is he's very direct and he's good for a goal. And if you can keep doing that, listen, the sky's the limit. So, I'm happy with those two. We've tied them down. We're going to tie down Saka.
Yeah.
We tied down Martinelli to a long-term deal.
Yep.
So, the future's bright and we've got, two top-tier wingers for a long time. So, very happy with them.
Can I just say, Odegaard has got to stop with those celebrations, though, man. I just
What, the dancing? You didn't like it?
It's a
Let
bit too
him
stiff.
go.
It's a bit too stiff, man. Come on. Come on.
That's nasty. Leave him
Jermaine,
alone,
Just
man.
put your hand up.
Our club
Whatever
captain
that
as
one
well.
is.
Our club
I
captain
know.
as well, man.
I gotta be honest though, man.
Our club captain. Kerr, I want to come to you to talk about the forward line. I think we were very, very worried when Jesus got injured in the World Cup. We came back, obviously. Nketiah went on a little run, scoring goals, 2 against Man United, which we will forever be in debt for him for those goals. However, it started to get a little bit stale. We have Trossard that's coming now. It looks like the two wingers are scoring again. But I'm hearing a rumour, everyone has seen online, that Gabriel Jesus is back in training. It's gone from being worried that Jesus being injured to now having Trossard who can play in that false 9, Jesus who can go in there, Martinelli on the left. Then Martinelli can play in the centre, which he did. That second finish was fantastic because I think he's a great poacher. The forward line is looking a bit illegal right now because Jesus is going to come back. How excited are you about Jesus coming back?
I'm ecstatic. I just want to add, before I even touch on the Jesus quickly, it's no disrespect to even Nketiah, because like you said, he come in and he done his thing, But what I feel like a lot of people are starting to do, is diss him because obviously his output started to drop over the last few games. But what I want people to remember is he's literally been playing every minute of every game since Jesus has been out. So that's gonna take his toll. Yeah, he's still a young player and whatever. He hasn't, had the game time as such that Saka or a Martinelli have had, or the, in terms of consistent runs of games, etc. So I just feel like, you've got to give him that. So obviously the fact that we've brought in Trossard, like you said, and now we're having Jesus back. I just feel like that's good. It's good options. It's good things. And all of a sudden now, at the most crucial part of the season, it looks like we say, we can have them options. And the thing is, I don't want to throw no more of these trophies away, like these options. Like, I want to still go for this Europa League, and I want to go for the league. Like, I'm not saying like go helter skelter at the Europa, but I'm saying I want to win it. I'm not saying like I don't want them to go throw it. Like, I want him to still, every game that we're going to be playing, I want him to be putting out a team that we feel can win the game.
I definitely think
and maintain our momentum and everything like that, because I feel like that's a big thing. Because I feel like when we changed up our team, even going against the Man City game in the FA Cup, that messed up our momentum a little bit. Like, at the time, I thought it weren't a bad decision to change up or whatever, but I feel like in hindsight, maybe if we had have won that game or whatever, maybe we wouldn't have gone through that dip the way we did.
Yeah, maybe.
Different to that. I think, you never want to throw a game, but I think it was wise to, because the way I see it, listen, they've got to play more games than us. So as long as they're stretched as well, that will help us. The little time we have left of the season, If they're going for the league, they're going for Champions League, FA Cup. We've only got 2 competitions. So sometimes you have to be a little bit tactical in where you put your energies into.
100%.
So, I get what you're saying. You know, maybe we could have played a stronger side. But then if we play the stronger side and God forbid one of our players gets injured again, then what? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear that. I just mean I don't like more. The thing is, I don't want us to throw the Europa.
Of course.
Oh no, I think
I want us to still, and only because I'm talking about the options as well. Like where we have got options, it's nice to know because at least in those Europa games, we can still play strong teams.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Smith Rowe is
minutes right now.
Smith Rowe is back. Obviously, Vieira coming on. We are a little bit later going to be talking about. Being 5 points clear and what we want to go for. Jermaine, we're talking about the attack. I think we have to talk about the defence. And Saliba and Gabriel have been fantastic for us. I think after the World Cup, Saliba has been a little bit shaky, but Gabriel. But this is what you get when you get great defensive centre-back partnerships, because we've had it even with the great ones. When you look at Vidic and Ferdinand, there's going to be a time where if they're playing Liverpool and Torres is about, Vidic is going to get had up. But you always have, Ferdinand to come. Ebbs and flows. And they had an argument, 2 clean sheets now after the Villa game against Leicester and now Everton. They had a little bit of a tiff at the end of the game, which was all squashed. How important has Gabriel and his form been going into this?
He's been immense. I think the key reason he's been so good for us, for me personally, is the fact that you see with Zinchenko, he's everywhere. He's that inverted player. He's fitting into Odegaard's position in the midfield. Gabriel's covering for him. He's been key at covering for Zinchenko as he goes forward. If he doesn't cover for Zinchenko can't do what he does when he goes forward. So he's been key for us, And I feel personally, Saliba's probably got less to do on that other flank in terms of assisting. Yeah, because of Ben White. So he's definitely been key for us. And I think for 2023, to be quite honest, he's been our best defender, if I'm honest with you. Yeah. He started off shaky. We always said that Gabriel's perhaps got one mistake in him, but he's been key for us, So, definitely been a key player.
Nah, he definitely has. All right, we sit 5 points clear on the top of the Premier League now. Still a long way to go. A lot of people are trying to call us out, Arsenal fans, saying, "Oh, are you going to win it? Are you going to win it?"
Let them call us out, man.
Ed, what is your feeling going into the last 13 games of the season?
As I've always said this, one game at a time. You can't look too far ahead because the league's tough. There's always a banana skin. Yeah. So we have to keep that mentality. I think the boys believe though. I think the boys believe. I think they can see it a little bit. They can taste it a little bit. So that's why the onus is on them to finish strongly as possible. And when you look at how we play in games, the in-game management, if we go a goal down, we don't get rattled anymore. We still play our way and we keep trucking along. So, one game at a time, and we'll see you come May, man.
Yeah. What are your feelings, Kerr? You just been grinning and just bare smiling today, man. So Jesus is coming back. We know that you're excited about that,
bro.
But what do you think? What are your feelings going into the last 13 games? Europa League kicks off again. We got Sporting Lisbon. They're no mugs. No. So it's gonna be yep. Shout out to Ruben out there. Ruben, behave over his legs, man. Just throw this.
No games. Don't come and try to do some fancy stuff.
I think Ruben's got them that bad luck. You got them fans that, and then because you've spoken to them about it, and then you just I'm gonna get that message. The two eyes.
Yeah, he'd be rooting for us.
Yeah.
Because it's this thing.
Oh, Sporting Lisbon, that's you, yeah? Okay.
That's his thing, innit? So
okay, let's pam them differently. What's the bad edit we'll get on that next show, man? But
next 13 games, I think, we're gonna finish strong. I feel like we've learned a lot of lessons from last year. I feel like a lot of our younger players learned, and grew up from that. You can tell by some of the performances Saka's turning in this season. You can tell he took that personally. Even down to you saw his posts and whatever, at the end of the season saying, Arsenal fans, you deserve better.
And the finishing
all this, and you can just see he's taking every opportunity to show I'm ready for this. Because even down to like when it come to who's taking penalties now, boom, I'm taking penalties. Like this, that, like every opportunity he's shown to take responsibility and whatnot and step up and show I am. Even down to like all these goals that he scored this year have always been like the stats out. Like they've always been rather to equalise or be like winners or first goal in games and things like that to break deadlocks. Like he's just so important for us. Like he's not a stat pad player. And like my man said earlier, like, in terms of he always makes the right decisions and things. And I just feel like some of these players, like I said, Martinelli seems to be coming into a bit of form again
At
now
the
at
right
the right time.
time, yeah.
Saliba seems to be picking up his form. Like you said, Gabriel has been colossal this year, I'd say. And we're just solid. I feel like our defensive thing's starting to come back again where you feel like, yeah, okay, we're looking solid, hard to beat, hard to score goals past. And I just feel like with the little run of games we've got coming up, where they do look fairly winnable at the moment, I'd say probably up to the next 5 games look fairly winnable for us. After that, it's then a bit more difficult. But if we can pick up a bit of a head of steam, City seem to have a few difficult games coming up, as well as the Champions League. If they slip up and we can maintain this, coming out of March, and we can keep, and we can get to say like extend it to 8 points going into the running in May, where we've then got that tough run and playing City, then I think anything. Then I'm ready for it.
Can I just add to that? The only thing I would say with City is a lot of their tough games seem to be at home for them. So they've got the likes of Liverpool, Newcastle
Us,
coming
Chelsea,
up.
I think.
Us, Chelsea at the end as well. We've got a lot of our hard match. All right, Chelsea. It's debatable. It's debatable with Chelsea.
Ouch.
What I would say is with us, we've got a lot of hard matches away, so we've got to really be focused. But a lot of our good performances and results have come away from home.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
But there's a lot of teams like Liverpool where we've got to go there. They're going obviously to get into the top 4. We've got to stay focused. They've been our bogey team for a number of seasons, so we've got to stay focused. One good thing on our side is I personally believe that Manchester City's focus is the Champions League, because Guardiola wants to win that.
Do you know what? I used to think that, but I think now with what's happened with the controversy in the Premier League, I think they want to go for everything. And I think
and Arteta, the fact he's challenging Arteta's the one challenging him.
And then
That
Jesus
burns even more. I feel for Pep to
when
be
friends
like,
become
my
enemies.
apprentice.
And I think he's
kind of reignites a new fire.
And of all teams, they've got a squad to fight for those two. I definitely believe it. But
so are we now. I think we've got a good squad.
No, we've got we're early to this. We've got a good squad. But go on.
I'll say this: it's not so much we've got a squad. I think the drop off isn't as steep.
As it was before.
It's still a couple more guys we can possibly replace.
Yeah.
But the drop off from first 11 to backup isn't as bad.
And this is what all of you have said, and what Kerr said, which really did stick out to me, is the fact when you're talking about who's on form and who's been good this season. We're naming like a minimum 5-6 players. Now, bro, last season when Partey and Tierney were out, we were like, that's it. That's it.
It was done.
No, it's done.
Literally.
Our 2 winners are done. Now, we're naming 6-7 players. You lot haven't even mentioned Ramsdale as well. And I think at the end of the day, that is a keeper who, let's just be real. When Sheffield United, when we were linked with him, a lot of Arsenal fans were like, okay, this must be a joke, isn't it? Like, why do you want to get this relegation? The bid was rejected and we went back in. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Is Leno this bad? I was like, but look, he's came in. We saw, do you know what? He did well. To come to a huge club, when you come from Sheffield United, no disrespect, and then you come to Arsenal, especially as a goalkeeper, as a young goalkeeper, that's a lot of adjusting. But mark my words here, how important he's been.
100%.
Because I look at the games against Manchester United. I look at the 2, the save against Son away. Like, there's big saves that he has made in the games, and we just, because of the goals, sometimes we forget. Actually.
But not only that, he's actually changed the way we play.
Of course.
He's integral to playing it out from the back. Leno couldn't do it. He's changed us. So,
But like you just said, though, like you said, there's just bare players you can say. Partey, Odegaard, like, do you know what I mean? That's without the wingers. Like,
Partey, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli. Obviously, we're still talking about Jesus.
Zinchenko, like,
Jorginho, look, Trossard is coming now.
Everyone's
Zinchenko-
contributing.
yeah.
You can't. It's so hard to even sit there and say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
'cause you
never
feel
been the
like,
case
Oh,
then.
like you're then leaving someone out or whatever.
But this is what kind of happens when it comes to improving your squad.
Yeah.
And I know, Ed, we were discussing it before about, there's one or two players that we could kind of replace. Like, a lot of people are feeling sorry for Tierney now, rightfully so, because he's great professional. He's really one of my favorite players, but it's hard to get back in. And in Nketiah, you were saying as well, but where we're going now, like the standards, you're gonna start getting to see this. And I think quite a few Arsenal fans, we're like, oh no, I think we've got to be low. He scored 3 No, this is where we're going now. And Arteta is shown after that. Listen, after that halftime substitution of Jorginho, you're saying maybe he was ill or not, but that to me shows me we ain't got time to mess about. I will bring you off. Even Tierney was his favourite last. Do you remember Tierney was his guy?
Captain for us. Everyone wanted him to be captain. Do you know what I'm saying? The main guy.
Inshallah, one
only outlet for us. But listen,
get up that touchline and hopefully put a ball in.
So that will be it. Right, guys, we have got a game at home against Bournemouth. Ed, where do you see this one? After we lost to City, it was shaky. That Aston Villa game, I think Troops actually, shout out to Troops, but he came out and said for him, that's his defining moment of the season.
For me
because,
as well.
Oh, is that for you as well?
Yeah,
Villa,
100%.
because that's when you think this game could have gone that way and we actually won it.
In that game.
Now it's 3 in a row and now we're taking on Bournemouth. We'll be playing Sporting Lisbon away, and then it's going to be Fulham away and then Leeds at home. They seem quite favourable fixtures. I know you said take one game at a time, so let's start with Bournemouth. What are we saying?
comprehensive, man. 3-0.
Hold on.
Real talk though.
Ed was the voice of
No messing about, yeah.
humility.
Still one game at a time, but, I think we'll have to take care of business.
You have to,
We're at
you have
home.
to, yeah.
Bournemouth are bottom of the table.
Yeah, second from
if we
bottom,
can't
you have
beat
to win that.
If we can't beat Bournemouth, what are we doing?
We didn't beat Everton at that first one, but
That
At
was away from
home, at
though.
home.
That was away from home. We're at home.
But Everton can defend as well, though. To be fair,
well, they're not defended too well, bro, because they're bottom of the league. But
I mean, look at in general, since Sean Dyche has took over, them
He's a bit-
they've defended a lot better, innit?
yeah, they have defended better. But what about you, Bournemouth? Are you saying the same as Ed, or you being a little bit more humble?
Oh
Would you-
no, yeah, no, I see.
was like, be humble.
I want to be adding
Nah,
some. Listen, this could be a really tough game. It's the Premier League, innit?
That's
so no
the
game's
thing,
easy.
that's the
Like
thing.
we can all sit there and go, "Oh, we're gonna slap them," yeah, and then it ends up being 1-0 or whatever. They give us a really tough game because obviously they're fighting for their lives, innit? But at the same time, the way we're playing, we're at the Emirates. I want to be like trying to catch up to City's goal difference a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Before we go to Jermaine, I think that Everton game for me, it wasn't just to win, which I really wanted to do. It was to score quite a few goals. And the reason why I wanted it to be a statement win, because I kind of like lessons to be taught to oppose. It's not just, oh yeah, we're going to win this 1-0 or 2-1. I wanted it to be a statement. And 4-0 is a statement win. Big up Arsenal Football Club, the first club ever to beat a team 100
times.
times.
Come on.
To them.
So it was a 4-0, and again to
More
beat them,
history.
and history there. But it was the manner. Do you think again, Bournemouth, we need a good stomping performance, dominant performance? So at least now going into the next games, Fulham away will be thinking they've just come on, man. This is that back to back here.
100%. We need goals for confidence, and also I think we've got a goal.
Confidence?
No.
Oh, I think
I kind of feel that we went through a rocky patch, and we got out of it. But to maintain that consistency, to be playing how we started at the beginning of the season, how we were playing, I think we need another statement match. I think we've got 6. I think City's goal difference is 6 goals better than ours. So we need those goals, And also, we played against Leicester the other day. We completely outplayed them. I don't know if they had any shots on target, maybe a couple. But we only won 1-0. Do you know what I'm saying? So we need that result where we get those goals. I think key to winning this match is getting an early goal. I was a bit worried against Everton because it took us 40 minutes to get that goal. So we need to get that early goal. Once we get that early goal, they're going to need to attack us, So, yeah, hopefully it works out. But what I would say is as well, in terms of Bournemouth, I don't really fear them. I think their top scorer is Dominic Solanke. I think he's got 4 goals, 4 assists, something like that.
But that's
That's not-
always the kiss of death for Arsenal.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Every time. This striker, he hasn't scored since 1983. and he's coming off from the stands. And then he said,
Gets a hat trick.
if we know that if there's a
Yeah.
record to be broken, come to the Emirates
yeah.
or Highbury in
And we'll
it,
give you-
and you'll
We'll give them what they want.
All right.
Just annoying.
But I just don't see it the way we're playing.
Yeah,
not
and-
against Bournemouth.
all right. Let's not be complacent then. I think we got to start with Partey though. I saw that Jorginho's done well, but I saw the difference in that second half when Partey came on, man. We were.
But do you not think though, and I was having this debate today, because I was like, just start with Partey. But do you not think now that coming into the sort of run, that maybe start again as it was, and then we know that in the second half that we can actually bring Partey on and take it, or do you think start with him and then, because
I
for
think
me,
start Partey
Start
and then
Partey,
play
man.
Jorginho in the midweek game against
Sporting.
Sporting.
I love that.
If he's over his injury worries, start him.
Yeah, like
That's the thing. It's
that's
we're-
another week in it away.
We are always a slave almost to his injury worries, and it's just like he's too important to always be out.
Yeah.
But yeah, start him. I don't care how many games we've got left. He's our best
But
player.
he does
and our
have to
most
get into the
important player.
groove though, doesn't he? With him, he likes to,
He'll do
once
that.
the more,
And again, not to take Bournemouth lightly, but I think if you can't
Yeah,
get into
Ed,
the,
you're taking out of everyone. I thought you were the voice of reason here.
I'm trying to be, but listen, like I said, if you cannot beat Bournemouth at home as well, that's the thing. We're at home. Away is always difficult, no matter the ground you go to, right? But at home, you have to take care of home.
Yeah.
And they're second bottom for a reason. They're not going to
Facts.
come up here and try and chuck a thing. No way.
And personally, I kind of feel that
right.
we've got the City match coming up in about 6 games or something like that, and we need Partey in his groove.
Yes.
I don't want to be playing with Jorginho all the time and then put on Partey for that big match. Partey has to be in a groove now. If he's fit, play him.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, innit? Fitness.
Yeah.
I listen. I agree, but
And Jorginho was booked for.
He's your
for a
Ghanaian
backup.
brother.
The
Yeah.
no,
And that's why-
Partey's but there was a few Arsenal fans that were, do you know what I mean? And, no, he's always injured and all of this sort of stuff, which is fine. But
Yeah.
Partey showed yesterday in that game.
Why he's
no,
the guy.
I'm the
Yeah.
guy.
Why
So
he's
all
the
of this,
guy.
like, I'm actually at home
100%.
now. But Jorginho is coming, and the drop off,
done the
we've never
thing.
seen it like this
Done the
before. So no, it is definitely looking good. But I think that is it. We have come to the end of the episode. No arguing.
Did you not say? I didn't say my result. I said I'm going to say 3-0. Did you say your result?
I never
Boom.
do. You guys come before me at all
you make us
times.
fool and then okay, fair enough.
Am I lying, Ruben? You man come before me. I'm not here.
Okay, say
no, I'm just a
nothing.
selfless
All right, all
man.
right, all right, all
You know what I
right.
mean? I've been called a lot of.
prediction, though.
I've been called a lot of nasty things online.
Deservedly.
Hashtag tar and a certain man here. So with me, I'm gonna be very no. Whoa, you know. Whoa. This guy wants to get man moved. Anyway, look. But listen, no, I reckon it's gonna be a 3-0.
Yeah.
I reckon a 3-0 or a 4. I reckon it's gonna be. I hope it's gonna be a comfortable. It's just a statement win, but with the Premier League. This is the league that you have to respect it.
Yeah.
Just 3 points.
Honestly,
for us. That's what's
yeah.
important for us.
You
innit?
have to respect
Yeah.
it because it just takes one bad back
One
pass.
dodgy game.
100%.
Yep.
And then that's it. But we roll on. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you do follow. Put your comments down if you agree with everything that we say. And we'll be back for more of the AFC agenda. Peace.